Let me bang.
I do let you bang. Hey,
let me bang you, James, man.
I let you bang. I let you bang.
Greetings, marriage and virgins.
Go for Jesus. No forget Jesus, people.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again for your favorite mixed martial arts podcast. Recording out of Los Angeles, California, it's MMA Roasted with Adam Hunter.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new MMA Roasted Podcast. It's me, Adam Hunter. I'm here with Greg Romero Wilson, Sean McCorkle. Sean, you're looking good, man. You lost some weight?
Still doing it, man. Yeah, still eating. I threw my back out again like 2 days ago, so I haven't been able to hardly walk. But past that, I'm still eating right, man. So it sucks, but I'm getting back down.
Now, do your neighbor?
I think you said everything though. When you said it sucks, and I talk about this in my act. Fuck food. Food is to blame.
Yeah.
Why can't the delicious stuff be fucking healthy for you? I hate life. I hate this shit.
It's like the whole world's set up against you. I think that all the time. Like, why does everything have to be?
Everything good is bad.
Good is
exactly.
bad. Yeah.
Absolutely. If it's delicious, it's terrible for you.
Dude, my wife gets these food that they look like they're going to be good. You're like, chocolate chip.
Right.
And then you eat them. You're like, what the? And then she's like, oh, don't worry. It has 0 calorie. I'm like,
right. It's so bad. I know they try. It's so funny because, Craig Robinson, he flirts with veganism. Like he'll do it for like a few months and then he'll fall way off the wagon and then he'll do it again. So whenever he is being a vegan, he always tries to convince me to be a vegan too. And he always like, so what he'll do is he'll be like, Greg, come on, we're having tacos. And I'll go over there and he'll be like, yeah, I got you those tacos. And I'll be eating the tacos. And he goes, pretty good tacos. I'm like, not as good as if they're made with meat.
Oh, yeah.
Because he tries to sneak it by me. And I'm like, yeah, for meatless, it's okay. But really, I'm only eating this because of, trying to be nice, fucking garbage.
It's like I never understood people watch those fake porns on like Showtime, like the Skinamax.
Mm-hmm.
They never actually got naked. If I'm gonna watch porn, just fucking watch porn. Like what kind of,
it's somehow less offensive like that. Like it's less like, whoa, I don't want to get too far into it. Like that's let's just simulate it.
By the way, McCorkle, you're like this giant grumpy man who never leaves his house. Like if they had like a real life Shrek, I think that would be you. Like you're
great. There's more motivation to stay on my diet.
No, I'm kidding. I was going to say, McCorkle, welcome to my world, where no matter what they compare you to, it's going to be an insult. And so now you know what it's like to be me. You know what you remind me of, Greg? I'm like, please stop. Just stop right there, because I know you're about to fucking tell me something horrible, and I don't want to fucking hear it. So that's what it's like for me. At least what kind of you remind me of Shrek. Like, there's no way to take that's good.
I always laughed as I became an adult and got bigger. Like I never understood why size means you have to be like retarded or something or slow. Because people are like, yeah, he's just some big dumb. Like it's always big followed by dumb every time. So like you can't be smart at all. If you're my size, you have to be like, okay, Lenny. Like tell me about the rabbits. Like it has to be anybody big as stupid.
Tell me about the rabbits.
And I wonder if that isn't just a matter of like big guys not having the brain power so much as never being asked to use it. Everyone just asked them to be physical, and so they never develop that part of themselves.
Yeah, it's kind of like I think if you go to community college, so it's the hottest girls because they didn't have to study.
They never exactly.
They just sort of just like, sorry, Bree. My wife.
You should have been at my house one day when I was telling this delivery guy how homeschool kids are normally like slow, like socially slow. Like I said, they're always weird. Like they're me a homeschool kid. I don't know how I brought it up. He goes, yeah, me and my brothers and sisters were homeschooled. And I was like,
you should have been like, well, look, you're doing great.
I thought you'd be bigger. Because he's not very smart.
Delivery guy about homeschool kids are slow. Like
I don't know, man. It was weird.
Note to self: never deliver packages to the McCorkle homestead.
Meanwhile, so I had a show last Saturday, Laugh Factory. I'm in a great mood because my kids won the tournament, by the way, which I'll get to.
Yeah.
And I get there, and it's like, first it's this transgender comedian who's like murdering, but like it became, people were just like going crazy, you know, and then, but like not laughing, they were laughing, but it was like, woo, cheering. Like it was like,
cheering. It was rah comedy versus ha comedy.
There was some ha too, but it was just like, it was energy. And then Kate Quigley goes on after me, and Kate's doing well, but she's doing like, you know, pussy joke. It was just, you know, so I go on, and the women, there's like, everyone start to heckle me. Like I'm the bad guy all of a sudden. Like I'm just like,
can I tell you, I knew exactly where this was going.
Like, for some reason, I just became like public enemy number one, right? But not with the crowd was laughing. There was 3 white women that were just like joke one. So I do a joke and they're like, boo, or just something, and they were talking, and people were telling them to shut up, right? People were like, shut up to them, right? So then I said something else, and one girl goes, I go, all right, give it up for the Real Housewives of Long Beach. Or something, like kind of, I gave them a jab. They're like, we're not from here. We're from Minnesota, right? So I was like, well, go back. We have enough dumb blondes in California, right? And then it was just like, dude, place went ballistic, and they were so angry the rest of the show. Like, they were like one of them laughed at one joke. She's like, that's funny. Like, she had to tell me that was funny. She couldn't just laugh. It was just like, I had such hatred towards them.
I don't know what. It's something about your face, man. I don't know what it is. People just see it and they're like, fuck this guy. I don't know why.
It's crazy. Like, I didn't do anything. It was just, hey, so then that was crazy. What else? Oh, dude, can I tell you a story about the Dime Bar before I forget? Because it's a funny story. So there was this time I did a fundraiser, right? And I had someone else book the Dime. I think it was Augustino booked the Dime. And he had never run a comedy club before. He just was whatever. So it was like 6 people there. It's this little room. And for some reason, somebody was heckling him, but the guy was blind. He was getting heckled by a blind guy, right? So he goes, I want to see you do better. And then the guy's like, okay. So I don't know any of this. I'm coming back from this show, from a fundraiser for that Scott Baio golf tournament thing. So I'm coming back, and I walk in through the back, and all of a sudden I see a guy cursing at the wall, like, because he doesn't know where the audience is, right? So he's like, I look around, I'm like, and there's like 4 people.
Oh, man.
And I'm just like, what is going on right now? I go, and then I was like, he wanted to go on stage. I'm like, he's not a comic. Like, why do you put this guy? But I don't know, he's blind, right? So I start lighting him, right? I'm like get off the stage. So now
he would know what that means anyway. He's not a comic.
Not a comic, and he can't see, right? So I'm just like, so someone's like, he's blind. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding, right? So then I walk up to the stage. I just grab a microphone from him. Hey, man, you got to sit down. This is an insurance thing, right? But now people don't know.
This is an insurance thing. That's pretty good. That's pretty quick. A good one there. I don't think, yeah.
But people don't know I'm a comic, though. They just think I'm just some guy who stole the mic from a blind guy. Right. I just walked in, and people are like mad at me now. Like, boo, give him the mic back, you bully. Like, I'm just, it was fucking insane, dude. That was.
You bully. Now you're the bully. Oh, boy.
It's like the time I was in Vegas and some lady in a wheelchair came by and stole my merchandise, like 6 t-shirts off my table and wheeled away with it. Like, it was outside and I was talking to somebody, and all of a sudden someone's like, that lady has your t-shirts. And she's rolling away in a fucking wheelchair. So I run and I get my shirt back, and people think I'm robbing a fucking lady in a wheelchair now.
You went phones out. You went full OJ. You want your own shit back.
So fucking crazy. So how was your weekend, Sean? What'd you do?
Man, what did I do? Nothing, pretty much. My girlfriend's she has a real fancy job with the defense contractor, so she's working a lot of overtime, but like not getting paid for it. You know what I mean? Like one of the deals where you got to be really good at your job to keep it. So she's been doing a bunch of stuff on the computer, and I was laying around like feeling sorry for myself because my back sucks. So that's what I was mainly doing.
Sorry, brother. Greg, you?
Yeah. Long weekend.
All right. Wrestling tournament. Okay, so we fucking won. We actually won. My middle school kid, I couldn't believe it because I have all first-year kids because of COVID, and most of them are 6th graders. And I didn't think we were going to win. Like, I really was like, guys, let's give it our best. You know, none of us wrestled before. Let's try our hardest. If we win, great. If not, you know, look, we wrestled, so we won. It was like one of those, like, defeatist, worst speeches ever kind of thing. And then we were all seated, like, every kid was seated, like, 4th out of, like, 3 kids. Like, and these kids, they came and like they did it. A couple of them, I had to take credit, but I was like coaching through the match. And one kid just kept looking at me. I'm like, all right, now, throw the half in, peel the ankle. And the kid the whole time was staring. I'm like, dude, look at your opponent. Like, you can't just look at me. Dude,
let me ask you something. That's so amazing. And really kudos to you, man, for really – it's like the Bad News Bears every year. And somehow you turn them into champions. And I just would – I wonder in your mind, like when you see it happening, like you expect nothing, and then you see them winning, like in your mind you hear – music like in movie, like do you hear the da da?
This one was great. Literally, I had
you're like, like it's happening.
We had COVID really like put a number on some of these kids. Like one kid told me he couldn't do sprawls because his grandmother had breast cancer, and he was worried about hurting his chest when he hit the mat. I mean, it was like excuses that I've never heard before.
Yeah. That's pretty extraordinary.
I mean, a couple years ago, I had
my grandmother had breast cancer. Now, where did he?
Dude,
it'd be funny if his grandma got breast cancer from doing sprawls. Like that's what would have been ironic.
Yeah,
and
I don't want to get breast cancer. You okay? All right.
I had a couple years ago, I had a kid that was telling me he was he was like the most ADD, never listening. He goes out and gets pinned, walks off the mat and goes, "Coach, who won?"
Hey, that sounds like a Romero Wilson.
And then he told me one time, he was like, listen, please refer to me as like Stephanie, or I'm not going to say the name because I'm now transgender. Like one day he just walks in. I'm like, well, you gotta, both of you need to work harder.
No one's quicker than you, Adam.
Dude,
no
it was like,
quicker than you.
I mean, but yeah, some of these like
both of you need to work harder.
I want you fake going blind during a match. Like he was like, I can't see. I'm like, dude, how many fingers? Like it was. But we did it. We pulled it off. I was so proud. I was almost tearing. And then when I saw me and my wife went to go see the high school team, and like 13 out of the 16 kids are kids that I coached. And the mom came up to me and she's like, I just want to say like we're all here because of you. And she's like, you made these kids into men and women that they are. And none of these kids would be here if not for you. And you should be so that was like, I almost started like tearing. Like I literally.
It's pretty amazing, man. Yeah. You're really transforming their lives. They're at a very pivotal time in their life when, teaching them about how to win and determination and guidance like that really actually has an impact, a lasting, lifelong impact, So kudos to you.
Yeah, no.
I'm going to have to get some pointers on coaching from Adam because I've been fighting my dogs and they're not doing that well lately. I'm just kidding. My dog, I did forget to tell you over the weekend, my $10,000 male disappeared. Like he took off after a deer and got caught by the dog catcher or something crazy. Like it was like the shelter wouldn't open to let me get him. Like they're just not open. And they're like, oh, well, we're by appointment only. And I'm like, okay, well, I need to come get him. I'm not having somebody adopt a $10,000 dog that belongs to me, But I felt bad when I got there. They were like, listen, he's pretty bloody, but it's his own blood. I was like, okay, better than someone else's, I guess.
That makes it better.
Yeah. And they were like, he's got a cut on his lip. And he was like acting real aggressive toward all the other dogs and people here. I was like, that sounds like him. So, but yeah, we got him back and can't wait I got to GPS him now, like put some collar with the GPS or something because he doesn't follow the rules. But,
oh man, you just get him vaccinated.
Yeah, it should fix everything. That's fine.
Then they'll be able to trace him everywhere. It's got the whole little tracking device, weekly upgrades. Fucking yeah.
By the way, have you guys seen this new documentary on Netflix? Forget the fights. The Tinder Swindler.
No.
Sounds amazing though.
I was gonna say, listen, it rhymes, so I'm in.
Dude, this guy. Watch it with now that both of you are me and you are married and engaged, dude. This guy claimed to be this like multi son of a billionaire, diamond business, and he would get these girls to fall in love with him. But like they were first date, they're on a private jet. Like he literally had bodyguards, Rolls Royce. I mean, he had everything. And then he would get them to like fall in love with him, texting, and then he got them to like, hey. They're after me, my life is at risk, so I have to close my accounts because the whole thing. Can I use your credit card? I'll get it back to you. He had these women on the hook for $100,000, $200,000.
He was a con man.
250,000, and it would go from one to the next. And he'd been doing this for like, I don't know, like he went to jail for like 3 years for it, and then he got out and got even worse. And he got one of the girls that he swindled working for him.
Oh shit,
dude, it was fucking. And the guy, this is going on right now. The guy he got sentenced to 15 months in jail, and of course he's got to be Jewish, which is like, oh god, you can't. So he did 15 months in jail, and he only served 5 because of COVID. And now he's back out with like a Lamborghini, back on Instagram with dude, it's crazy. This dude.
And now he is famous because he was on Netflix or whatever. So,
yeah.
By the way, I just got Greg's joke about being vaccinated, being tracked. That's a hell of a joke. It took me like 5 minutes, but I just got it. I was like, "What's being vaccinated? Tracked? Oh, I got you." Okay. Anyway,
the guy's banned from Tinder. Yeah. You want to see? Dude, you want to see a crazy documentary? Watch this. I mean, I don't know. I mean. Because at first, people were going after the girls. We're like, well, it serves them right, blah, blah, blah. Girls are just with guys all the time. Yeah, but girls don't, like, fake a kidnapping and get them to, like, put money into their – like, that was where it was, like – it was crazy.
No, it's a con. He's a con man. Cons like this, he just used Tinder to do it. Which, God, that's the thing about Tinder is these people are absolute strangers to you. I mean, there's a reason why people meet people through friends. Because there's a bit of a you got a referral.
Right.
Like, oh, he's a pretty good guy. I don't know. I've seen it. You know what I mean? You get a little history. This is just pictures and whatever the fuck they type into the fucking phone. So, it's ripe. It is a perfect ground for that. Because you can just tell people you're whatever the fuck you want to tell them,
But he had 120,000 followers on Instagram and pictures of him everywhere. And he's taking the girls on like the private jets. So, and he's wearing all kinds of stuff. So
no, it's a con. He's running a great game. Those people that rent the jets must be like, I don't know what he does. We've got a different chick here every fucking night. And we don't even go anywhere.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
In a way, it's a little bit of justice that a girl's only dating him for his money anyway. It's almost befitting that he's using her money to take her out, eventually. So,
and these girls they fell in love. Now, granted, it was like, normally I don't go for guys that are short, but there was something about him.
Right. Yeah. Could have been that.
I was just thinking exactly, like you could be 5'5" and say you're 6 foot and you have until you walk in the door, to get away with it and then be like, before you leave, just give me a hand,
Dude, this poor girl, she wrote on the second date, she wrote him a letter of like 10 things I love about you. I'm like, his jet, his road.
Exactly. His bodyguards, the idea that I'll never have to worry about money again for the rest of my life.
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. Somebody was like, the first red flag should have been there's a billionaire on Tinder.
Right, yeah. When I used to be on there, people when I used to be on there, people when I was single, people used to always be like, yeah, right, that's not the real you. And it would actually make me like kind of sad. Like it's like what commentary is it on me that people are like, dude, there's no way the real Sean McCorkle would be on here. I was like, man, if there's a fake one, his life must be terrible. He chose me to be a fake one. But they girls all the time be like, you stole someone's profile. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right. So did you guys watch the fights last week?
Some of them.
There were some?
Yes, there was some UFC fight. We talked about them.
Oh, then no. I thought they were coming up.
Okay, well.
No, just full disclosure. This last weekend was when we buried my mother, and so I was a little distracted over the weekend. So there you go.
Got it. Well, that's a very good excuse. Sorry, Greg. I'm once again, I'm really sorry that should happen.
I appreciate it. No worries, man.
It's a great excuse, but don't try to use it again, Greg. We're going to keep our eye on it.
I better make a note. I better write it down by the computer. By the way, used the mom thing.
He's like, next time say, I'm afraid I'll get breast cancer if I watch fights.
So Sean Strickland, Jack Hermanson. Sean Strickland talks so much shit about how he was going to murder someone in the octagon. And just footage of him knocking out sparring partner. Where like, you got excited to watch him, right? You're like, I can't. Dude, it was the most boring. He won. But
he did win.
It was a jabbing contest, and it was not the
split decision too. Jeez,
that was bullshit. He won almost every round, if not every round. But it was one of those things where you're like, oh, he's feeling him out the first. Oh, he's just getting going. He's pacing himself, and by the fourth round, you're like, okay, guys, like what's going on here?
Now, here's the thing, though. Does that show that he isn't as good as we thought he was, or does it show that he's gotten smarter and he realized he could outpoint this guy instead of getting into a war with him?
honestly, I think one of the issues was like he put like he did like a show on Strickland Cribs before the fight, right? Where he showed like he's living in like a 1-bedroom. I mean, it's not living in a lap of luxury at all.
Doesn't sound like any episode of Cribs I watched.
Yeah, it was like no furniture. It was like
Cribs Section 8 edition.
Dude, yeah, it was like that. It kind of was like that, right? So I think he said, "Listen, I was just so focused on the win bonus." I think that was the problem. Was that he wanted the $50,000 or whatever they were going to match him on. Sometimes you go at 70 to fight 70, whatever it was.
Right.
I think that's the issue sometimes when you have not guaranteed. You're not guaranteed a 3-fight, and you're not guaranteed the win bonus thing. Is that he just fought to win, and he said, "Look, I felt like it was a sparring session that was boring. I'm sorry. I feel like a big pussy." Which, to his credit, like good for him, because a lot of times. I used to watch boxing matches. It would be the most boring fight ever. And the guy would be like, "I'm the greatest ever." Like Mayweather was like kind of guilty of that in some way.
Yeah, a lot.
But I mean, it was just not what I thought was going to happen. Sean, what did you think about the fight?
I turned it off after the third round because it was like I expected with all his – I've never seen him fight. I've only seen his sparring videos and his funny stuff that he does or whatever. And then if he wasn't even going to talk trash during the fight and you're not going to fight, I was like, I don't know what I'm watching this for. That'd be like watching Colby Covington at a press conference and him not talking trash. Like, isn't that what we thought we were getting, And but I mean, you don't have to talk during a fight necessarily, but at least fight. You know what I mean? Then like make it a fight. Don't like you said, talk a huge game and then come out there and not do it. That's what I always tell on my fights. They may only last 90 seconds, but it's not going to be boring. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Like I'm going to fight while I'm in there. I may gas out after a minute and a half, but I'm not going to circle and feel guys out for 2 rounds. So
but you also got to think Hermanson also. One of those things where he didn't really make the fight either, and,
right.
It was one of those things where it was just a bad matchup, maybe bad matchmaking. But that happens. Now, the other good fight, this guy, Nick Maximov, 8-0. He beat Punahele Soriano. This dude, like, I don't know if you train with the Diaz brothers, if you just start talking to like them, but.
Yeah, he's definitely hanging out with them at least. Yeah. He sounds like Diaz, like every word.
After the fight, it was like, "Yeah, me motherfucker." Like he just did it was like an impression almost. But the guy's 8-0. He looked good. Brandon Allen beat Sam Alvey. Alvey looked pretty good in the beginning, and then just got rocked and got caught.
Shocker.
And then this guy Trayshawn Gore, who was going around saying, "I'm going to be champion in 2 different weight classes," and he was talking all this shit, and just got beat by Brian Battle in a fairly close fight, but nothing. The fight that was if you're going to watch one fight, watch Julian Erosa, Steven Peterson, because that was like almost the fight of the year. Those guys just kept falling down, getting up, hitting each other. I mean,
yeah, like a fight like that. I will go back and watch that one.
Did you see the guy I think he's undefeated? He looked, I mean, I'm not racist, but he looked Asian, but I think he was from, I thought they said from. He's
from Kazakhstan.
Yeah, that dude can fight, man. Like every now and then you'll see, like the first time I saw Chris Weidman fight, I thought that's a future champion. Like the first time I saw that Jerry Projeska or whatever that guy is, I thought, man, that dude can really fight. But that dude is going to be something, man. I'm not kidding. He's got just his movement, his athleticism, I don't know, he's got it. Whatever it is, he's got it.
It's crazy. Which guy? Yeah, there's a guy named Shavkat Rakhmonov who's 15-0, who beat a guy, Carlston Harris, who's good. And he made it look easy, Greg. This guy, right?
Was it on the early prelims?
No. It was the third fight. It was on the main card. Yeah, you're right. I shouldn't have went over that.
Oh, there it is. Shavkat Rakhmonov. Yeah.
That's Carlston Harris.
He looks like he's Mongolian a little bit.
Yeah, what? He does look like he's Mongolian. Exactly. Yeah.
Meanwhile, I've done comedy in Mongolia. Like I said, Mongolia has the best looking, aside from my wife, has the best looking women because they're like 6'2" Asian women. And and they said, because back in the day, this is what they told me. I don't know if it's true or not, but they told me back in the day, Genghis Khan kicked out all the ugly people. And it would only breed with the hot women. This is what
unfortunately, they still got half Genghis Khan.
That's what they
I guess that would be one of the perks of being a mass murdering conqueror. You know what I mean? Where we get to get rid of ugly people. So.
That's how we view Genghis Khan. If actually, the guys that brought me over there, I showed them. I'm like the Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure when they had Genghis Khan. Remember he was in the mall and he was like beating everyone up. Remember that that
Yeah.
Dude,
I was literally just talking about that movie today. My girlfriend talking about Socrates. And she had no idea what I meant because she's too young. She was like, Socrates. I was like, remember they kept talking about Socrates? She goes, no, I don't. What is Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? I was like, oh, never mind. I forget you're a kid all the time.
Dude, they were telling me, I was in Mongolia and like freedom of speech is like 30 years old there. So stand-up comedy is barely
I feel like we should clarify she's not actually a kid.
Right.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Dude, then it was like they like wrestling is like their main thing. Like it's just wrestling. Like they just there's no other sport. And then half the country they live in like on like yurts. Like they live out and they have like Mongolians Got Talent. Like they have like one channel and they watch Mongolians Got Talent. But I was like, well, how come they don't come into the city? He goes, well, they're sort of like they're not used to rules. So like stop signs, they're going through everything. And dude, Genghis Khan is on their money. Like Genghis Khan is like the good old days. Like the airport is Genghis Khan International Airport. Like they don't view Genghis Khan like some Western people view Genghis Khan. Like,
Right.
Like he's that
guy left his mark apparently.
Oh my God. They took me to the place where he found the lasso, like the whip that ended up like gave him the special power. But he was as far as leadership goes, and this is what they told me, that he would beat your gang or your people, and then they would take you out for dinner after that night, and then you would join his gang.
Go to the Mongolian grill.
Exactly. Can I tell you something? I've often thought this, and maybe I'm crazy, and maybe we delete this from this podcast. But I've often thought, okay, there's that song by Fall Out Boy where like, you will remember me for history. And I thought about like, I don't think so, Fall Out Boy, because here's the thing. If you think about it, to really be remembered in history, you kind of got to kill millions of people. I mean,
yeah, no, I mean, give me a break. Martin Luther King did not kill millions of people.
Okay, right. But I mean, think about it. Genghis Khan did. Hitler. Think about it. Hitler. What was the president of the United States?
Right. O.J. Simpson.
You got to think about it for a minute, don't you? Right. See, that's what I'm saying. You really want to be remembered for centuries? You're probably going to have to kill millions of people. Centuries? Millions of people.
I don't know if that's how you're gonna be remembered. John Lennon is gonna be remembered forever. There's gonna be.
You think you will for centuries? Do you remember the great musicians of Egypt? No, we don't. So I'm saying, but we certainly remember the pharaohs that enslaved millions of people.
People can remember Abe Lincoln, George Washington. Come on,
Civil War killed a lot of people.
Who?
Civil War, the Revolution. Right. Again, millions of people died.
I'm just saying, Mongolians are very. I don't know what the fuck to say. I had a great time.
Let's go back and talk about cancer. This got off the rails.
I had a great time in Mongolia. Mongolia.
I was saying, you want to be remembered for centuries? You're probably gonna have to kill him.
All right, John Castaneda won a big fight against Miles Johns. He was the guy whose girlfriend walked out on my show, but then I found out it wasn't his girlfriend anymore. What's up, people? Bet Online would like to wish you a very happy new betting year as we continue to march to the playoffs and beyond. Bet Online remains the #1 spot for all the best sports wagering action for 2022. It's a new year. It's a new updated desktop and mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use the promo code CLNS50 to get started. They got football, basketball, hockey, boxing, UFC, to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of the amazing offers available for 2022. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, check them out now. I'll tell you who did great. Chitty Bang. Chitty and Chikawani, who's the nicest guy ever. Him and his brother, Anthony. And he came out and knocked it out in like 14 seconds. He's a guy that's been around forever. He thought the Contender was his last straw. He was in Bellator. He was in this and that. And good for him. Alexis Davis also won. Super happy for her, Alexis Davis. Because she's just a girl that's kind of been like, she fought for a title and she's been around. I think I met her in person. She's actually really hot. She's one of those girls that like you don't notice it until you then all of a sudden she gets done up. You're like, damn. Not that she's pretty regardless. You can't say fucking anything anymore without me censoring. It should be called the fucking Censored Adam podcast. Adam has to think about what he's saying. I hate having that all saying. I remember just saying shit. Anyway, fucking this week, Robert Whittaker versus Israel Adesanya. I hope Whittaker wins. People were mad at you for picking Whittaker, by the way, Sean.
Yeah, because they want him to win, and they know I'll be wrong.
People are very angry about that.
You got the jinx on you, son.
He's pretty funny, though. People were like, how come you don't use your wrestling? And he's like, I never thought of that. Gee, thanks, guys. Man. Right. He's like, wow. He's like, every fighter. I didn't realize how good Adesanya's takedown defense is.
That's what I was saying. I was like, he tried to take him down. He couldn't take him down. So unless he's learned something different to take him down, I don't know what he's going to do differently. It's going to win that fight.
All right. Well, I want Whittaker to win, but I think Adesanya is going to win. That's my call. I don't know. I just think Whittaker, he just seems like a really good guy. Like he just seems like a really nice guy. Not that Israel doesn't, although I like Israel when he's not trying to be the character or like be the bad guy or, like even people were mad. The Henry Cejudo's manager, what's his name? Eric, who I give a lot of jokes to him and his people sometimes. And he was saying after he knocked out Paulo Costa, Eric like jumped on the canvas and Israel jerked off and then busted all over his face, like not like in real life, but like
right. That
was after he dry humped him in the center of the cage too.
Yeah. So Eric's texting me like, "Hey, what should I say to come back?" And I'm like, "Dude, like when your guy gets knocked out, like fucked in the ass, and then you get cum on your face, like how do you? I'm sorry,
right. Yeah, like wish he should eat more pineapple. I wish that tasted better.
Like sometimes you gotta just take the L, right? Sometimes you just can't come back. It's just when someone jerks off on your face in the octagon, it's just. I mean,
I would have just brought up his saggy nipple that's from steroid use. That's what I would have done. But I tend to go for the heart.
Now, is that what you think it caused it?
100%. Yeah.
He said 100%. That before. He's been 100% since the last fight. He's been saying, which everyone did notice the saggy nipple thing. I mean, it was kind of a weird, but I feel like that's more of like a weight gain, weight loss thing. But you seem to think it is definitely indicative.
Yeah, that's a guy I know from taking too much test without an estrogen blocker. And the thing is, it wasn't there before, and then it showed up. He either shouldn't be doing sprawls, or he needs to check his cycle better. Because that's not. GSP used to have the same thing. Back in the day, GSP had the same thing. Like, and people, GSP's like, I want the sport clean. Like, do you? For everybody else. So.
Greg, what were you saying?
I was going to say, I cannot wait. While I have burned the mom excuse, I cannot wait to use the breast cancer. That is, I don't know when it's going to come up. It probably won't be on the podcast. I'll probably use it in real life. They'll probably be like, sir, you can't sit in this area. I'll be like, I'm sorry. I got breast cancer.
My grandma had breast cancer, not you.
That's right. Sorry, my grandmother had breast cancer, so I'm afraid if I don't, then I'll have breast cancer. That's so dumb.
Dude.
My grandmother had breast cancer.
Derek Lewis, Tai Tuivasa. Is Derek Lewis, is he an overachiever or an underachiever? Because at this point where you're like, the guy said he was working out 30 minutes a day and was top 3 in the world. Is there another athlete in the world that can practice their craft 30 minutes a day and be top
and be one of the greatest
ever? I mean, Babe
maybe
Ruth.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Really, Shaquille O'Neal? You think?
Shaquille was notorious for being lazy.
Yeah, but he would practice more than 30 minutes a day, no?
Maybe not.
I guess. I don't know. But Derek Lewis is both an underachiever and overachiever because he overachieves considering the shape he comes into the fight in. Like the way better he should, but he underachieves. Like if he got serious about it, there's no telling how good he could have been,
And I think that's the classic situation where whenever you have someone who has tremendous natural ability or talent, regardless of what it is, then a lot of times they just kind of rely on that and don't put in the hard work that someone with less natural ability puts in to master something, and they can just do it, and so they don't work that hard at it. So their truest potential may never be fulfilled because they're not going to focus on it the way the guy who's maximizing every ounce that he has to match up with that guy who just kind of can just wing it and be that good. And I think with Derek Lewis, it's strength. I mean, he's just that powerful, and it's just good enough movement that, I mean, why work?
That's like me with comedy, man. I did comedy with so many people that were just naturally better at impressions or
right,
better
exactly.
at acting out,
yes.
or better at crowd work or making funny. They just had the hackiest type of joke, but they didn't have to work that hard to get laughs. And then, I'm just like, fuck it. I'm going over every single word, every joke, going up everywhere.
And that's what it is. And you see it a lot in arts and athletics, where
and
talent carries. Which shows you the number one thing you need, not talent, connections.
I mean, but no, you see that all the time, and it's hard. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to teach heart. It's like, for me, even with coaching, we had a kid that was losing, and you could tell he was mad, and then he finally just like, I'm like, you're down by 8. You're the kid, and he's and that's the thing you can't teach is passion or heart. I'd much rather have a kid lose, cry, throw something, kick a chair, pissed off, than a kid just like, dum-da-dum, whatever. Like, I don't give a shit, because then you're just like, man, that kid, where are you going to go with that? It's just like, I can't teach somebody to care about something,
Dude, I got a quick story for you guys you may or may not like, but I was playing in a basketball league one time. This is when I could still really play. And, some guys take that stuff real serious, like these rec leagues. I didn't really care because I played in college, so I was still pretty good. But we had this guy who at the end of the game, we were up by 5, and the other team only had 4 players. One of their guys didn't show, so we're going neck and neck with a team with only 4 players. And so at the end of the game, we throw the ball, and they're fouling so they can get the ball back and try to hope we miss the free throws. This guy airballs 4 free throws in a row at the end of the game, and he insisted, like when you throw it to him, he would hold it wait to get fouled because he wanted to shoot the free throws. So 4 in a row, they come back. He airballs number 5 and number 6 because he won't give the ball up. So they beat us, and then after the game, we're all standing there just dejected, man. Like, can't believe that team of 4 guys beat us. And he was standing there, the guy that missed it was like, guys, I got to be honest with you. It like my life was going to be any better or worse tomorrow if we lost. Like, I don't care. Like, he's the one guy that didn't care, because who cares? I think like my life's going to be better. I still got to drive that truck tomorrow. So, whatever. Like, what's the difference? And I was like,
and we said we'd all go down together.
Yeah.
Sean, I don't get it, Sean. I know how good a basketball you were. You got, a couple D1 scholarships. You averaged 20 points a game in high school, 25 points a game?
Well, yeah, more than that. No, I had actually 50 Division I offers, like 10 of them to major schools, Big 10 schools and Big 12 stuff like that.
How did James Krause beat you one-on-one?
Dude, that is the biggest lie of all time. That's like James Krause submitted me too when I was going 30% and he was going 100, and I didn't know we were trying to submit each other, just getting warmed up, But no, he beat me one-on-one because we were playing. Of course, my back is destroyed, and I'm just playing around. But then James decides after he hits a shot or two, now we're going to keep score and whatever. Like he's going to, like take it serious. And I was like, dude, I thought we were just playing around, shooting around. So he ended up hitting some slop shot at the end and beating me. It was ridiculous. So I guess he did beat me. But, it wasn't like we were playing for money or something. Like, I was just joking around playing with him. And plus, he's the most physical basketball player of all time.
So if you were actually trying, you would have –
I'd have killed him, if I was trying. Yeah, I could have scored every time if I was trying. But I was just literally just shooting threes and then, you know what I mean? Like,
right, you could have just backed him down and gone up for a layup every time.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, at that point, I still dunk real easy if I wanted to. So, I could just dunked on him every time. But, yeah, I was I don't know. At the same time, I didn't get submitted one time for 2 years straight. I didn't get submitted in jiu-jitsu class. And then this kickboxer kid who never trained before comes and gets me a guillotine and submits me because I wasn't guarding my neck then because I figured this guy doesn't know what he's doing. So I'm just playing around wrestling with him, and putting myself out there. But, yeah, if James wants a rematch, we can do it anytime. I'll just need 5 percent. So.
Hey, let me ask, I'm sure we've talked about this, but what was there a singular incident that damaged your back or was it just cumulative?
Man, making a really long story short, I hurt my back, herniated disc really bad in 2002. Not even from reaching to get a phone book in a cabinet. Reaching, I twisted and bent over. Plus, Chubby Checker was on. No, but I was twisting my back trying to bend to get something, and it popped the disc out, and I literally had to go to the ER after 4 days. I couldn't walk. I lost all feeling in my leg after, about 6 months where I could literally barely walk. So I go in and have surgery. That surgeon pokes a hole in my spinal cord, almost kills me. Like I've been surgery for like 12 hours trying to close the hole, all this different stuff. After I come out of surgery, they're afraid I'm going to die. I have to stay in the hospital like 5 days. I come out a week later when I can finally start walking again. Spinal fluid starts pouring out of the incision. I have a spinal fluid leak again. I have to go back into the hospital for them to try to close it. It was that time I ended up checking myself out and pulling my own IV out, blood going everywhere and everything, because they didn't want to take responsibility for it. They kept saying, we can't let you leave yet. We don't know if it's spinal fluid. And I'm like, okay, well, isn't that like, can't you put it like they can tell if cocaine is cocaine by putting in that little water thing? You know what I mean? You can't take spinal fluid, look under a microscope and tell me. They just kept trying to say, well, it may just be an infection clearing. So, I had a failed surgery real bad. And then I still kept fighting after that. Like I was fighting and doing stuff. Oof. And I would hurt it on occasion where I wouldn't be able to walk for a couple of days, like throw it out, and then it would get back to normal and I'd be good. And then just one day woke up, man, I probably 2012, I think, or 13. I woke up one day and could not move. Hadn't hurt my back, hadn't anything. Like I could not move in my bed. Like everything was just really, really bad. So I was same thing, lay in bed for 3 or 4 days before I finally go to the hospital. Then they accused me of looking for pain pills, and I'm like, okay,
right.
Whatever.
So, long story short, it was one incident.
No,
it sounds like it was actually cumulative, and then one little thing triggered it. That's what it sounds like.
One. I don't know what. I just couldn't move that day, and since then, man, it either burns 24 hours a day or feels like when you hit your funny bone, like I lose feeling in my leg. I'm talking 1,000 times a day, like a pulse goes down my leg and foot where I lose feeling in my leg. So like I can't do almost anything. Like it's the worst. It is.
Don't give up.
I went all the way to Germany, had that doctor try to fix it over there. It helped for about 6 months. Like I have done 65 cortisone injections. I've done microablation. I've done a year of chiropractic 5 days a week. I've done anything you can do. I've done. So the only thing left is stem cells, but I don't. They told me they don't recommend I do it because, like they said, they can't. If it's structural, they're not going to be able to help me. I'm like, cool. So there's no hope. And now they want to put an implant in my body, like a pain pump that pumps pain medicine into my body 24 hours a day, and I'm not doing it. Number one, I don't want to be a RoboCop. But number two, like, no, I just don't want to. I don't want to be dependent on it. I still have hope that somehow I'll be able to fix it. So.
You still can be remembered for centuries by killing millions of people.
That's my only goal left. Here earlier we were talking about being remembered, and I said like O.J. Simpson. Like I don't know if you guys caught that, but that was a good joke.
When my wife was about to give birth, like she's on there, and you could just give. She has the tubes in her, and you could put the pain medicine. You could turn it up. So I was always turning it up on her because she was in so much pain, And then the nurse would come in and like turn it down a little bit, And then I'm like, she's going into labor. I could tell, and she thought my wife was just complaining. We kept having like different nurses every 5 hours. A different nurse would come. And they would have So finally, I'm like, no, she's going into labor. She's like, your wife's just being. I go, you're the worst nurse out of 19. And she was the hottest too. But I was like, out of the 19 nurses, you're the worst. I go, and then I hear from my wife going, don't listen to him. You're fine. Because the wife's sticking up for her. And then like 5 minutes later, she's going into labor. So I was like, and then she's the one that like delivered the baby. And then I'm like, after I'm holding the baby, I'm sorry for saying you're the worst nurse we've ever had.
I have a video. My daughter sent me a home movie the other day when my ex-wife was having my daughter. And I was filming her like an hour before she has the baby, and she's giving me a real dirty look for filming her. And I was like, always playing the victim. Like I'm like, as I'm filming her saying that, and she didn't like it. So.
Yeah, my wife.
Not to mention the fact that she was having a 40-pound baby.
Right.
Come on,
my wife.
That can't be easy on the
my wife's legs were like over her head, like all kinds of stuff was going on down there.
The pelvic floor. That's all.
My wife's legs were over her head, all kinds of going on. I'm like, let's take a selfie. She's like, stop with the fucking jokes. She was so angry. She knows
who she married. She knows who she.
I was trying to make her laugh.
Yeah, great timing.
Oh yeah, God. She was like, afterwards,
laughter's the best medicine, hon.
She's like, I have no more self-respect. That's what she said after, like halfway through it, because just all kinds of stuff. But yeah, it was all right. So also Derek Brunson versus the Killer Gorilla. Dude, Derek Brunson.
Very interesting fight.
I like Derek. He's funny as hell, man. He has like a pose of him like this. Now he puts it everywhere. Like talk about a guy who's just a funny dude. Love Derek Brunson. I hope he wins. Kyler Phillips, I hope he wins. Bobby Green, you know, he's a guy that talks shit the whole time. He's always talking shit.
Yeah.
And then he loses the close ones. I feel like some of these judges are conservative, and he's just pissing them off with his language, and they're giving it to the other guy.
I know he won his last one because it killed like a 7-fight parlay I had. Like I remember thinking he's always in the fight, but he always loses. And then sure enough, he was on fire that night. So
this is going to be a good fight. This Nasrat hack brass guy, he is no joke.
He's no joke.
So that's the thing. If he talks too much, he's going to get caught. I like Nasrat in this one.
Dude, there was a night I was hanging out with Bobby Green and Rogan. It was like, I think, were you there? I was at the Ice House, and Bobby had a friend with him that was like taking Alpha Brain when the first Alpha Brain came out. But I think he was on like way too much because he was like, his eyes were like this. And then he was just telling us his whole life story. But like, you ever be one of those guys that like,
yeah.
When you mix Alpha Brain with cocaine, it does have that.
I was going to say, you end up with Coke talk. That's what that sounds like. It's the exact same thing. I got to tell you everything. My mind's running so fast. I can't believe it.
Dude, Tito's like that a little bit. Tito Ortiz is like that. He tells you, like, you end up, and Victor Ortiz, guys with Ortiz, like, you meet them, but like you just, like, they're so nice, and they tell you all this information that you're like, man, this is the greatest human being, like, ever. But then they tell it to everybody. You're like, wait a minute.
Right.
But, yeah, so Victor, Andre Arlovsky is fighting Jared Vandera. Casey O'Neill, who's 8-0. She's a big deal she's from Australia. Beautiful girl, too. She's fighting Roxanne Modafferi. I love Roxanne. Roxanne.
Yeah, Roxy had been on a bit of a win streak there until the last fight, right? When she had like a 3-fight win streak or something. In the last fight, she took an L, but I mean, and I think that last fight, I forgot who it was, but I think she got beat pretty bad, if I remember correctly.
She did. Her last 2 fights, she lost to Talia Santos, 30-27. Then she lost to Viviane Araju, 30-27s.
Yeah.
She lost 3 out of 4. She's saying this is her last fight ever.
Well, she's got, I mean, talk about it. She's 25-20. I mean, that's a lot of fights. You know, okay. And then she's going up against a girl who's 8-0. Okay. Oof.
Well, this
is a tough way out the door, I'll tell you.
She got murked on The Ultimate Fighter. She was getting the shit beaten out of her. I remember Raquel Pennington. It was like, and then she was doing her own thing, and then she went to the syndicate, and John Wood like taught her how to be like an athlete and helped her. And then she just all of a sudden was a whole different Roxanne Modafferi. And
right, yeah.
Another example of like a trainer can change your life. It was that. I know you're right. She's getting a little bit. She's got a boyfriend now. She's happy. She's kind of. But she's a great coach, great person.
I love fucking Adams. Look, she has a man now. She can live through him. She doesn't, you know what I mean? She doesn't have to do this fighting thing anymore. You trapped a man.
She can't go back in time and be hooked on heroin, but she can fight it almost as though she had been.
He came to my show and was like, I love your show. I didn't get most of the jokes.
I can't wait until they break up and then she has to return. And he was abusive, and so now she's getting her fucking comeback body, and then she'll be a champ.
Dude, I really think that she might be an alien. I've never met anyone like her before. Like, I feel like the aliens put like Roxanne on this planet because she's just wired differently. Like, she's the nicest, kindest, sweetest human being ever, but likes fucking people up. But in like a very compassionate way. It's very strange.
I think you just
we need to finish building that wall.
I think you just described every mass murderer. He was such a nice guy, sweet. He was a clown for kids. He fucking, he volunteered on the weekend. I can't believe he killed 72 people.
Dude,
took them all out to dinner after he did.
And they won't be remembered for centuries either.
No. You ever did that video of me and her sparring?
No.
I think I have seen that.
Dude, so Mike Pyle is like, hey, I'll like train you in Vegas. So I go Wednesday, I go Thursday, doing mitts and a little jiu-jitsu, having the best time. Then he's taking it way too seriously. He's like, you got a weigh-ins tomorrow at 9 and a press conference at 4. I'm like, okay, ha. Like, you got
to cut weight.
But he's not joking. He's like treating it like it's a fight camp. I'm like, bro, I'm not really a fight. So I'm like, okay. And then he was like, all right, final day, Saturday, sparring, right? So we do like I don't know, 8 rounds. I'm fucking exhausted. You know, I'm actually going, I'm trying, but like he's letting, I'm taking him down, but then he's like submitting me. And so then all of a sudden I'm like, I'm just gouged with sweat. I look behind me and Roxanne's in a fucking Batman costume. Like, let's go. And everyone has their fucking phones out, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I just fucking took her down. I was like, all right, I'm not fucking losing this. I'm just straight. But every time
that's a long game Mike Pyle was playing, like making you cut weight, hydrate, wrestle for hours, and now you got to fight a girl.
Dude, it was,
I know. It's really rather genius.
Dude,
they got to make the Tinder swindler about it.
Dude, it was like, hold on, let me see if I can find this. Like, I'm not even doing it justice, Roxanne. But dude, the last time Roxanne, I did the 10-year challenge with her, and I was like saying that she was. What was I saying? I was okay. Here we go. I was like, I called her like McLovin or something, right? And she was like, people were like, you're bullying her, blah, 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 blah. She was fucking laughing the most, texting me going, LOL. Dude, Facebook got mad at me because I said Paige Van Zandt also have a sex tape out. You know, now you can watch her take a pounding again. So I sent it to Austin. I sent it to her husband. He was like, that's great. And Facebook took it down for bullying. Her husband was laughing, and so was she. But
people love to be outraged for shit that has nothing to do with them. It's weird the way that's become the national pastime. Outrage.
Dude, I would like to see them make it so the person being made fun of has to complain. You know what I mean, or whatever.
Really, and that really is where any outrage should begin. If they don't care, you shouldn't care. It's weird the way people be like, well, then they don't know what they're doing. I'm outraged. They should be outraged, so I'm going to be outraged. I used to go on Red Eye on Fox News, and I did this character who was like outraged about everything. I'm outraged, and it was hilarious at the time. This is 2004, 2005. Now that's just reality. Just people fucking getting on Twitter and shit all day. I'm outraged. Oh boy, where are we?
It really is a new pastime, man. It's ridiculous.
It really is. It's being outraged about shit that has nothing to do with it.
I'm fucking dead tired, right?
Should I go in?
And I don't support Fox News.
All right, so I'm dead tired. I'm with Jack Jr. here, and then Roxanne.
Go!
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
That's a couture, right? Extreme couture.
Of course, Jack. Look at you. You're like, what is this?
Dude,
she's about to kick the shit out of you too. Oh man, yep, you just went for the takedown. Good move. Yeah, because she was about to kick the shit out of you, dude.
Yeah.
That video gets out there. Adam's going to get the role as the new Joker.
Dude, she gets up. I'm just like, all right, just like hold her for 5 minutes, right?
Look at Jack Jr. loving it. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's a Joker.
This is Batman versus the Joker. Dude, I'm like.
He's so tired.
Come on, hands up, boy. Come on, get it back. Put those hands up. Put your mask on at least. At least put your mask on.
He's going to take her down again.
At least put your mask on. It's no different than only 2 legs.
Adam looks like me in every fight I ever had after the first minute and a half. Like just shot.
Fighting's exhausting, man. You do any kind of sparring and you find out real fast.
Holy shit!
Wow,
I go through shoulder.
Yeah, dude. I was just like.
I think we know why she lost her last 2 fights. Adam yanked her arm out of socket. Jesus Christ.
I'm so fucking tired. Yeah.
You do too. You look tired. You're just like, God, why is this happening?
I see everyone's phones, and I'm like, great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Matt Schnell, they call him Danger Caged. He was on that show with MTV back in the day. This guy William Knight looks like a monster. Don Frye's calling me right now at 1:00. Hey Don, what's going on, man? We're on the podcast right now. Where were you? All right, try again. Did you guys have a hard time logging in?
No, of course not.
No.
But I have,
So 59 minutes of an hour-long podcast.
Yeah, I live in the city where, they have adequate, service. So.
So,
hey, by the way, I've got an impression I want to do for you guys, but we might want to do it after we sign off. I don't know. I got to do an impression that's amazing. I've been working on.
Oh my God.
Oh God. Yeah. So anyway, what else is going on? Joe Rogan apologized. Let's see what else is going on here.
Hey, your joke did really well though. The Carlos Mencia joke.
Oh yeah, I said Carlos Mencia's apologize. Yeah, of course. I mean, that's a thing, man. Like, we got to find funny in every situation. Like,
sure. You know what? It's like I was actually disappointed in myself for not seeing it at first. I was like, I don't quite. You know what? But I think it was because you said he apologized for using the N-word. And I didn't realize that's what Rogan had said. I thought he just apologized for the Planet of the Apes remark, and that's why it didn't connect for me. But I hadn't seen the apology, so. So
Don Frye, you're an hour late, but it's good to have you, man. At any time you can come on. How are you?
All right, man. I apologize. I got a little busy.
Now, all right. So Dustin Poirier said he would fight McGregor again, but it'd have to be in a boxing match. Does anybody want to?
Man, they really love boxing, don't they? Everybody wants to do boxing. Like,
I was going to say, why can't they just play billiards at this point?
All right.
Well, it sounds like you're going to get paid more by the UFC if they do a boxing match. I mean, shit. I mean, they would have to get a real boxing promoter in order to get boxing money. Otherwise, they'll get UFC money.
And there was a point where I would say McGregor would just wreck Poirier in a boxing match, but I don't even know if that's even true anymore. I mean, there's a video. You see a video of him high eating ice cream recently?
No, but I can relate.
Yeah, hold on. Let's see if I find this.
I don't know what is what would be gained from them boxing versus MMA. It seems like they both want to use their strengths. I don't know why they'd be like, you know.
Yeah.
They should just turn it into an ass kicking contest, and all you can do is kick. And just like, what is this?
Yeah, I don't understand either. Let me see if I can find. Oh yeah, so here we go. McGregor, it's got 119,000 views. This thing he posted. Oh man, it's almost sad because okay, here we go. Ready? And
it's like the guy from Baywatch. What's his name?
Mm-hmm.
David Hasselhoff.
Yeah, so here he is.
Yeah.
Well, you can literally see him getting fatter. Like his face gets fatter as the video goes on. That's unreal. And his body too. Holy shit. Wow.
Yeah, something's going on there, man. That's weird.
I mean,
what's the name of that video? Connor lets himself go?
What kind of ice cream? What kind of ice cream did he eat?
It's like one of those like old school like
strawberry shortcake, isn't it? I know it's called
strawberry shortcake.
I know
it's not diet ice cream, I can tell you that.
But what was the point of him posting that? Like, what is he doing? This guy has
cocaine is a hell of a drug.
This guy has $1 billion. Is one of the best fighters in the world. He's got everything going for him. He's got a wife. He's got 2 kids. Like, all he's got to do is just go to the gym, train, and he'll probably win, and he'll be the best at whatever he does. But instead, he just chooses to just fucking get in trouble and hit Machine Gun Kelly and post stupid
I'll tell you what, if they're definitely not going to play billiards to decide it, because Connor's nicknames are going to already be taken by that time, like Minnesota Fats. You know, so he's not going to be able to.
Took a minute to get there. I was like, where's he going with this one?
Don, did you ever?
Ireland Fats just doesn't have the same ring to it. So.
Don, do you ever have a point in your life where you only had yes men around you?
You know, I don't know. A couple of the women I've been with accused me of that. Yeah, but I guess I'd say that. You know, except one guys. They speak up.
Is there a better spot in your place with Wi-Fi?
That's my bedroom.
There we go. There it is.
But Tony's sitting here with me. I don't want Tony following me into my bedroom. So
that makes sense.
Who's Tony the dog?
No, it's his yes man.
Yeah.
But
I'll tell you what Conor McGregor's doing. He's fucking being bored. I mean, he's an attention hog who's bored. So he's making a video. Oh, make a video now, whatever. Like he's just bored.
I know, but it's just
movie, I mean, or a TV show. I mean, I'm sure anybody on the planet would be on a show for nickels, and he can make something. He can make something, get some money out of it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. By the way, Greg, who do you have for the Super Bowl this week?
Rams. I think they're going to beat them pretty good, but Joe Burrow has proved me wrong 3 weeks in a row now. So why should this be any different? Which, by the way, I understand after this, depending on how it, regardless of who wins, Joe Burrow and Matthew Stafford are actually going to have a rematch in jump rope. And then, depending on how that goes, they might have another rematch, but bowling. So that's what I think is going to happen there. So, no, I like the Rams to win this one pretty big. I think their defense is going to create extra opportunities for them, and I think that that's going to give. And I think Matt Stafford, I think he realizes this is his one shot. What Eminem music, the whole thing. What opportunity he needs to see. Burrow has the luxury of youth. He does not. And I think that's going to ultimately be the difference.
Sean, what about you?
I'm going Rams just so Greg can be wrong. I'm going to bet heavy on him.
Don, what
Go
about
team.
you? Don?
Yeah.
Who's going to win this week?
Yeah.
Super Bowl this week. Who wins?
Well, I haven't watched the game since that dipshit started taking his knee. So I don't really care.
Yeah, he's been out of the league a few years. You can come on back, Don.
Tony said that it's going to be the Rams. He said that the Bengals got a weak offensive line and Rams have the defense to slaughter.
That's exactly right. That's right. That's right on the money right there.
Dude, where are you watching it, Greg?
I will actually be this weekend performing at the brand new TK's Comedy Club, which is a gorgeous new facility. It's like a really high-end place. And on Sunday, they're going to be having a big watching the game party. And so I'll be watching it there in Addison, Texas, right there in Dallas, my hometown. So if you're in the Dallas area, I'll be doing shows on Friday and Saturday, and then on Valentine's Day, Monday night.
Sean, you ever have a crazy Super Bowl party story you want to tell us?
No, man, I don't know. I usually it didn't get fun until I started betting on it. I won like $4,500 last year on who would score the first touchdown, or whatever, or something like that. But I did know a guy who decided to be a bookie. He started on Super Bowl Sunday, and he took all these bets, and he took something like 100-to-1 bet that the first kick would be returned for a touchdown, and the guy put $300 on it, and they got returned for a touchdown. So he was down the first play $30,000 as a bookie. I laughed so hard about that, man. I thought I was going to pass out. I was dying. I saw him the following Monday. He was like, dude, I owe one dude $30,000. He goes, I only took like $1,500 in bets. I was like,
oh my God.
I was like, it's a bad time to start a bookie operation, but
dude, the craziest Super Bowl story I had. You know, Jay Davis was like, he just got divorced. So I was trying to cheer him up. So Phil Varone, who used to be the drummer for Skid Row.
Right. Yeah.
But after Sebastian Bach left, but anyway, he's a good drummer. Right. So he was in these swinger convention. He knew all these swingers. So they all came to the Improv one night and I had a really good set. They surrounded me. It was like a bunch of like decent looking cougar type chicks. And they were kind of grabbing my cock. It was crazy, right? So hey, we have this thing called Lifestyle Lounge. That was it's called the Lifestyle. They don't call it swing anymore. They call it the Lifestyle. Right. Are you in the Lifestyle? So they remember this party and it's at this house, Pasadena, this huge house. And this one chick's she's like, I want to blow you in front of my husband. And I was like, well, I'm like, what do you do for work? She's like, I work for Disney. Right. So, so I was like,
I love that you answered her question about the blowjob with, what do you do for work?
Yeah. What difference does that make?
I know. It's I think she just described the job she's looking for.
It didn't go in that order, but I wanted to, for the joke purpose. Anyway. So then, there was watching Super. It was the one where it was the guy, what's his name? The one that, the guy that had, dated Kim Kardashian back in the day. The guy played for USC. He was like,
I know who you're talking about. Reggie Bush.
Reggie Bush. There was that Super Bowl where he ran in the fourth yard. It was the fourth quarter. He had a great game, whatever. It was like close. Forgot which. So anyway, we're watching it. All these like people outside watching it on this like nice bar, and this girl is lying on the bar with her legs up like a turkey, getting fisted by some dude. Right, just like he has this fist in her, and just is turning it. And I'm looking at the game. It's like the fourth, and I'm looking at this, and I'm just like, what? Where the fuck am I? Like, this is crazy.
Dude, listen, everyone knows the Super Bowl always has the best halftime show.
So this one woman next to me, she goes, "This is disgusting." I go, "Yeah." She goes, "He's doing it wrong."
But she was actually talking about the quarterback.
Dude. That was crazy.
Was Reggie Bush the running back for the Saints the year they won?
Saints.
Was that
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way,
The girl in the bar was ironically not a Saint. It turns out.
Ironically, there were no Saints in that bar.
You know, I was thinking that Greg was talking about performing earlier. He's got a lot in common with Brendan Schaub. Like, they're both stand-up comedians. They're both performing on Super Bowl weekend, and neither of them ever got near playing in the NFL, no matter what they say.
Nice. Third tiered. Now, did you ever go to a swinger party, Greg?
No, I've never been that good looking. And or big, like if I were at least a big guy and they're like, but I'm like a short, fat, not good looking dude.
They're like, bring Shrek in here.
Exactly. No, Shrek's getting invited every fucking week.
Yeah.
Wilson's got to bring a hot girl everybody else can bang or a bunch of money. One or the other.
And I remember Corey Feldman was always there at the parties.
Of course. Sure, that makes perfect.
But they all weren't big fans of him or something. But then there was one time. You ever go to the Green Door? There was a comedy club there was a big club called the Green Door in Vegas, right? And we had free tickets. First of all, we went to this like me and my friend Aaron went to this like bar that was like a brothel basically, which we didn't even know. And we walk in and it was like this methed out like prostitute. So I invited her to my show. I had tickets. We needed people to come to the show, right? After the show, I'm selling shirts. I'm like, "What's the matter?" She's like, "Your jokes were offensive." I was like, "Your life is offensive." So, dude, we go to the Green Door, and it's like the second floor, and there's like 10 dudes just sitting around watching, and this girl's like blowing this guy while a guy behind her is like just banging her. So it's like a 3-person act, right?
Right.
And everyone's just watching. So I giggle. I go, "Huh." Everyone looks at me and they kick me out. They kick me out of the room for giggling.
That sounds right.
Adam had to take his mask off like an Eyes Wide Shut and leave in shame.
Yeah, everyone's like, "Who's the new guy? Do you mind? I'm trying to jerk off to this chick getting nailed by 2 dudes."
Don,
that's rule number 1 of swinging. You never laugh at a Chinese finger trap.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
How do you know that, but you've never been to one of these places?
Because it's what it's called. It's called a Chinese finger trap.
Unlike Don, he has the internet.
And then if you slap hands, if you high five, it's an Eiffel Tower.
Don, did you ever partake in any of these? Like back in the day, you and Randleman or you guys, you and
No, I would sneak into the zoo on weekends,
Oh, boy.
How do you make it worse? Like,
somewhere out there's a bobcat with a great mustache.
Yeah.
I was going to say, he did get dry humped by Mark Coleman one fight I saw the entire time.
Don, you've had threesomes before, right, with girls, right?
Threesome what?
Like threesomes with girls? You ever have 2 girls at once?
God damn, yeah. Yeah, wasn't all that much fun, but a lot of bitching and complaining, that's for my part. For me, some people just love it.
I feel like for Don, a threesome is just being trapped in a car with 2 women.
Wait, who was bitching and complaining during a threesome?
I was.
Why were you bitching and complaining? Oh God.
All right. You heard about Brendan Schaub's threesome he told me about, right?
What was that?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, Brendan Schaub told me he had a threesome once, but it was after he's in UFC, but it was the wrong ratio because it ended up being him and another guy and then some other guy.
I have heard of that. I have heard.
Yeah, I do haven't heard of that.
I have heard of that. All right. Well, anything else you want to talk about, guys, or are we good for today?
Don't forget my impression, but you might want to do it after you sign off.
What's?
Right.
Why do I feel like is it Asian or something or something?
Listen, stop. Because listen, if Sean McCorkle already thinks we shouldn't broadcast it, do not drag this into the light. However, if you would like to learn stand-up, my advanced joke writing class is now streaming. It's available on teachable.com. So it's comedyinstitute.teachable.com. And you can, it's the class that, Jimmy O Yang took it, Jerry Garcia, Amir K, Jessica Michelle Singleton. A lot of the hot comics, they took it. And I'm very proud of it.
Wow, those good comics.
I don't think the impression's that offensive if you guys want to hear it.
All right, let's hear it.
Don't you?
Is it Bruce Buffer? Is it Bruce Buffer? Is he in the impression?
Well, I don't know. I'd have to I don't know. You'll probably figure out who it is before it's over. But I've been working really hard on it. Hold on. Here it goes.
Yeah.
It's oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Any idea?
No.
That's Bruce Buffer and Dominic Cruz.
Okay.
Bruce Buffer and Dominic Cruz
at a UFC event in the men's restroom.
In the men's restroom. That's you know what? I can't believe I didn't get that. That was such.
What was difficult for me is I only heard one voice.
That was
it was a two-person impression. So really, you lost me there. You lost me on that one.
You're a real Rich Little.
You're very little. You're rich. You're rich, very little.
Rich, gigantic.
Don, do you have any impressions?
Shit. No, I sure don't, partner. Oh, it's yours.
Yes. Man, by the way, there was some hot moms on the wrestling team. I got to bring Don Frye around them. Don, are you single? I can't tell if you have a girlfriend or what?
Yeah, I'm single. I'm a single man. You just step into a Slim Jim. Yeah.
There was his impression.
Oh, there you go. Nice. That's
yeah.
Greg, what's your best impression besides Hector
You are the worst fucking audience,
Yeah, that
I want to hear Greg's best impression, whoever it is.
I don't know. I think all of my impressions are equally bad. I really do. Like, they're not good impressions. I'm not an impressionist. I do the worst impressions ever. That's why when people get mad about them, like, you should be mad that it's just not a good impression.
No, you're right. Rowdy Beck was great. Hector Lombard was
My McGregor was the worst not actual McGregor of all
the best is when, we said McGregor was calling in, and people said that they waited the whole show to hear it, and then it was you doing the worst McGregor.
Oh, so bad.
Well, anyway, this Wednesday night I will be in San Diego with Dominic Cruz and
oh my goodness! You played right into that.
Get on my impression now.
Don't do it. Stop.
You'll be in the bathroom. You'll be in the bathroom stall number 3.
Yeah, Uncle Creepy. Yeah, and then where am I? And then Saturday night I'm at Flappers. Thursday, Supernova. Friday in Palm Springs. Just go to AdamHunterComedy.com. You can see it. I'm going to Alaska coming up. But thank you guys so much. Have a great week. You guys.
See you, man.
Bye-bye.